Hello, good morning. I'm Megan Malaris with meteorologist Christian Morgan, and we are live here on the WFMY News 2 Facebook page for After GMS, which we do every weekday at 7:45, give or take a couple minutes sometimes, but we're right on time today. And so is winter eventually.
Eventually, it will be here. It will be here eventually. It does not feel a thing like it this morning, though, if you step outside. And in fact, one thing we haven't talked about in a while is that it actually feels a little bit humid outside this morning.
It does. I thought it had rain this morning.
Right. So if you step outside this morning and look at the ground, it looks like it rained, but it didn't. Actually, the ground's just sweating. Seriously, that's what happened. We have dew points in the 50s, ground temperatures in the 40s, and when that layer of air next to the ground cools to that dew point, it condensates, which is where you get that thin layer of moisture from. It's on the ground, it's probably on your car, maybe on the porch steps as well. So saying that, as you step outside this morning, just take it a little easy. Be careful if you have those wooden steps or those brick steps. They may be a little slick this morning, actually, as you step outside. Of course, as you take a live look over downtown Greensboro this morning, there are some areas of patchy fog, and we have some low clouds this morning. A lot of this will lift off, though, as we go throughout the middle of the day, and we'll see a little more in the way of sunshine as we go into the afternoon. 57 degrees now in the Gate City. Average low right now is 31 degrees. So we are a far cry above that this morning. Most all of us are running close to 60 degrees here at home. And if we zoom it out on a wider view, notice where all of that warmth is across the eastern seaboard down to the south. But there is cold air knocking on our door up to the north and back out to the west. That will eventually win out as we end the weekend and kick off the week of Christmas. Of course, I mentioned it's humid too. Dew points in the 50s. Now, no, that's not crazy humid, but we've been used to dew points in the 20s and 30s. And when you factor that in, yeah, it feels a lot different outside, but this is nowhere close to that summertime humidity, which of course we hate. High pressure in control of our weather right now, but it lives offshore. So we're on the western edge of that high pressure, meaning our winds now come out of the south and out of the southwest. That's what's promoting our warm up and all of that humid air moving in from the Gulf of Mexico. There's a cold front on the way, though, that slides by as we go into your Saturday evening. And yes, it does bring some rain, but we need a whole lot more than this is going to bring us. Likely anything that falls will be light Saturday evening through Sunday morning. And then behind the front, the cold air builds back in as we end the weekend and kick off the week of Christmas. So here's how Futurecast plays things out. Partly cloudy as we go throughout the afternoon today, but we do stay dry. Now, waking up on Saturday, we'll notice those clouds building in again, and by midday, lunchtime, there could be an isolated shower or a few sprinkles somewhere across the area. But the bigger stuff doesn't get here until the afternoon and evening. And when I say bigger stuff, we're not talking about anything major. We'll see some scattered showers. Most of that activity will be light Saturday evening, Saturday night, but again, could linger through early Sunday morning before the front clears the area, and then we start clearing our skies out heading into Sunday evening. Behind the front, that cold air will move back in fast too. So we're headed for near 70 today. I think a lot of that is dependent on how much we see in the way of cloud cover. If we can get a little more sunshine to start to pop out, I think we'll have a good time or an easy time making it up close to 70 degrees. Still a bit breezy at times today too, with those winds gusting anywhere from 15 to 20 miles per hour. We'll call 70 for the afternoon high today. Partly cloudy and mild overnight heading into Saturday. We'll start off in the mid-50s again. Kind of a two-part weekend. Warm on Saturday with the showers arriving in the afternoon. Clearing on Sunday. Temperatures in the low 50s to end the weekend. And get ready to bundle it back up again for the week of Christmas. We'll start out chilly for Monday morning in the upper 20s, and it's a cold afternoon of weather, only topping out in the 40s for Monday. First day of winter, by the way, is on Tuesday. Temperatures running about where they should be for this time of the year. Average high right now is 52, and that is the forecast for Tuesday. Just a 20% chance of a stray shower on Tuesday and Wednesday, but the week of Christmas looks to stay on the cold side of things, Meg.
Yeah, so that forecast is what a lot of people are talking about here on our feed. In fact, we're asking you to describe today's forecast of 70 degrees in one word. So many words you could use. Unseasonable is the one that comes to mind for me. Wanda is already weighing in. She said warm or crazy is what she would use to describe it. We heard from Bobby, who said awesome in all caps, followed by a thumbs up emoji. So he clearly likes this weather. I would also say it's confusing. You know, we're in the middle of December, and here we are, and you say we're actually in drought conditions in North Carolina. Yeah,
our drought really continues to get bad. And even though, you know, last weekend we had a nice soaking of rain, picked up about 3/4 of an inch last Saturday, that really didn't help our drought hardly at all, hardly even put a dent in it. The only thing it did is help folks in eastern North Carolina. They got a lot more rain than we did, but our drought conditions really still rage on. And control room, if you want to pull this graphic up, I'm going to switch over to this just a second. There's our temperature trend for the next few days. I'm going to walk over here and grab this other clicker. But when we talk about the drought, we get our latest drought report numbers that come out Thursday of every week, and this runs Tuesday to Tuesday. So notice, pretty much the entire state is at least abnormally dry right now. Only 1% of the state right now is doing just fine, and that's in extreme eastern North Carolina, right along the North Carolina-Tennessee border. At least 82% of the state is in a moderate drought, and 42% of that is in a severe drought. Those darker orange colors that you see extend from Charlotte down to the south and up through eastern North Carolina as well. So it's going to take a lot of rain and several good rains for us to really repair this. And I dug into the numbers some yesterday just for the past 3 months, so it's easy to keep track here. October, November, and December, all three average about 3 inches of rain, give or take a little bit. And all of those have ran short so far. So the closest is in October that we came. We picked up just shy of 3 inches of rain. And then in November, we didn't even pick up half of an inch of rain out of PTI. So that's where we really started to see things deteriorate fast. And now for the month of December, we picked up just shy of 3/4 of an inch. And so we're well behind now that we're halfway through the month. So it's going to take a while to make up a lot of this.
Do you think the October rain shortage was because that's typically a really active hurricane month and we had hardly any Atlantic activity?
I mean, a lot of that, some of that could be contributed to that, yes. I think, a lot of times we forget that even though we started the year with a surplus of rain, right? We had plenty of rain. We don't think about drought a lot when we get to this time of the year because normally we associate that with it being super hot and super dry. And, we've used up all of that surplus that we had, even though we had several, rainy months in the early part of the year. Now the back half of the year has just been bone dry. So this is really going to take a while. And, this is, of course, part of the reason that led to those wildfires on Pilot Mountain spreading like they did. The wind, the dry weather, none of that helped. So wildfire conditions are still, while they have, kind of been tamped down a bit and that burn ban has been lifted, I would still be very cautious of burning things because even though we've had some rain, it's still super dry. It was just surface level stuff.
And kind of windy too.
And windy too. Yesterday was super breezy and today will be a bit breezy at times too.
I noticed my fall flowers did not last as long this year. My mom's did. They started out looking so beautifully and now, I mean, they are dead. So we have to get rid of them. But typically, I don't have to worry about watering them in the fall. It normally takes care of itself. And kind of forget about it when it's cooler outside. Like, I don't have to water those, but yeah, they didn't last very long this year. So again, we're asking you here on our feed to describe this weather in one word. Lots of great responses. Carl says terrible. He clearly doesn't like it, but Kim is on the opposite side of things. She says pleasant. Walter says love. And then we heard from Amber who said nuts.
I'm with you, Amber.
Yeah. Let's see. Scott says, here's the one word. It's bipolar. He also said earlier it's unfestive, if that's a word. We can consider it a word for the purposes of this conversation. Yeah. How would you describe it?
It's weird.
Weird?
Yeah, it's weird, and if you're trying, I think, who was it that said it was unseasonable? If you're trying, or unfestive. If you're trying to get in to the holiday spirit, it's hard. For me, it's hard to do when it's 60 and 70. I need it to be cold. So I think right on time, that colder air is going to start to come back as we kick off next week for Christmas. But it's just weird. It doesn't feel right. It's
also a little unsettling. We've seen the devastation that has happened this week in the Midwest and Mid-South because it was too warm. And these fronts and the change in temperatures are what spawned that tornado outbreak.
Yeah, kind of a general rule of thumb here. This is just an old crusty forecasting rule with no real science to it. But it does end up playing out. If something feels wrong or doesn't feel like it should be, then there is something wrong and there's likely big changes on the way. And a lot of that severe weather that we saw out, in Kentucky last Friday, a week ago, and then out in the upper Midwest and the plains this past week, a lot of that was driven by these big changes and by these big contrast in temperature. And if you look at a temperature map across the United States right now, it's really warm here in the eastern half of the country. But where that big cold front has made progress, we're in the 20s and 30s. And so those big changes are what drive weather. So thankfully for us, the front, of course, has weakened a lot and it doesn't have doesn't have as strong dynamics as it did. So even though it feels warm and humid on our side of things, we're only just going to get a little bit of rain from this.
Just important reminders all throughout this week. We need to take Mother Nature seriously. We can never let down our guard, no matter what the month on the calendar says. You always have to be weather ready, have that plan, and be prepared.
Absolutely, always.
All right, let's get to our morning headlines before we dive into our second talker. And this morning, Triad schools are on alert about a so-called TikTok challenge. The online post circulating nationwide warned schools could receive threats today. We want to be very clear. School leaders here and Triad law enforcement say they do not believe the viral posts are credible. However, several Triad districts have requested additional on-campus law enforcement to give reassurance today. At last check, classes in all of our districts will continue as usual. No one has reported any changes. School leaders are asking parents to monitor their children's social media activity. Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools is launching a new way for students to anonymously report any threats or suspicious activity on campus. It's a program called Say Something. Say Something shares information with school leaders and law enforcement through a crisis center that is monitored 24/7. Students can access this system through the school's district website, app, and hotline. The push continues to attract a potential mystery expansion at PTI Airport. Last night, county commissioners approved $2 million to go toward improvements and incentives. Right now, county leaders are calling this Project Thunderbird, the code name for the incentives being used to potentially attract an airplane manufacturer. Negotiations are still in early stages, but PTI reps hope last night's vote on the incentives will sweeten the deal. Officials hope to announce more developments in the new year. Health officials have confirmed 3 new cases of the OMICRON COVID variant in North Carolina. Health officials in Pitt County in the eastern part of the state confirmed all the new cases happened there. They say one of the patients had mild symptoms and has recovered, but is isolating at home. Pitt County health leaders did not specify the details about the other 2 new cases. So in total, this brings North Carolina to 4 confirmed OMICRON variant situations. Right now, an online auction is underway for the late Andy Griffith Show star Betty Lynn's estate. From now until December 30th, bidders have the chance to own some of Lynn's antique furniture and memorabilia from Hollywood. The actress died in October at age 95. She was best known for her role as Barney Fife's sweetheart, Thelma Lou. Let's get right into our second conversation. I already saw some of you weighing in on this earlier as we started the Facebook Live. Christmas Eve, a week from today.
Right now, yeah.
This year has flown by.
It's crazy,
to say the least. So 8 days until Christmas Day. We want to know, how's your gift wrapping going? Do you have presents ready to go? Do you still need to get them? Christian Morgan?
What?
Or are they still in bags or boxes waiting to be wrapped and waiting for Santa to deliver? Let us know in the comments section below. We heard from some of you earlier on the Good Morning Show. If we can pull up those comments on our screen. Jay said, not shopping, not wrapping. It's a gift card and cash kind of year. That way everyone gets what they want when they want. Another viewer said, need to finish shopping. Only have a few gifts.
Me too.
Deborah said, I just wrapped the first one yesterday. Lorraine says, I'm finished shopping, just haven't wrapped them yet. Sadie says, I'm done wrapping the presents I already have, but there are more presents yet to be delivered. Vicky says, I completed wrapping gifts last night. Ken says, have not wrapped anything, and I'm terrible at wrapping. Help! ! That's me, Ken. I was trying to wrap something the other day, was getting a little frustrated. My husband walked in. He's very meticulous about everything. He's like, no. Let's redo that.
I get a lot of things from my mama. The one thing I don't get from my mama is her ability and her gift of wrapping. I mean, she goes in there, cuts it all up, done, and just
folds the corners,
and just perfect.
Everything's precise.
Yes. Well, how do you do that? She's like, oh, just like this. Forget it. I'm putting it in a bag.
Yeah.
with some of the paper in there. We're
yeah.
gonna call it good.
I get the wrapping paper over the gift, then I kind of scrunch the sides together, put the tape on it, and call it a day.
I can't do it. I always measure the stuff out wrong. It just ends up being a total disaster.
Okay, so we digress. Wrapping skills are not our talker, but it's how far you have gotten on wrapping gifts. So we'll start with you. You've alluded to it. How's the buying going, Christian?
Well, first things, you got to crawl for we can walk, and I have got to buy the presents before they get wrapped, and I haven't started yet. But I was talking this morning on the Good Morning Show that everything that I'm going to get, I know what it is because I know what everybody wants, and everything that they want is in stock. So I just need to run to the store and pick it up. I can be done with my Christmas shopping in probably an hour and a half or 2 hours. So it won't take me very long. So
Okay.
I'm off a couple days next week from work, so I'm going to take care of it then.
All right, it's just a matter of finding a parking spot then at Friendly Center on the 23rd.
I
or
need
24th.
to do a little walking, so maybe that.
You might have to be walking there from your apartment because, yeah, it's crowded this time of year, especially with the crunch. So Carl had a good suggestion for me. He said his wife hates to wrap gifts. He enjoys it, so she shops and he wraps. Equal partnership. I love that idea. I should suggest that in my house. Kim said she's finished with Christmas since October. Wow, Kim, you are on the ball. Sheree said 6 to wrap and 1 to purchase. Nadine said she has most of the presents. None are wrapped yet. She needs to wait until everyone is out of the house so she can wrap in peace.
Sometimes that can be a challenge.
Yeah, especially with a toddler who loves to grab scissors and the tape. Robin says I measure my paper off and then wrap. And then Robin puts a lot of her gifts in gift bags. Tamrika hasn't started wrapping. She usually does it the night of because her little one, like mine, is nosy. LOL. Yeah, so I have most stuff wrapped. I have a few more things to go and a few things I'm keeping out of wrapping, but just hiding in the closet, which my little guy has found, by the way. And I had to tell him, no, Santa's coming soon. Now is not the time. We got to wait.
Have to wait.
Yeah, telling that to a 2-year-old isn't always fun. But yeah, his second birthday is January 1st, so back to back. So I have a set of Christmas gifts. I have a set of birthday gifts. I tried to wrap them in separate paper just so they both feel kind of special, even though he's not going to really know the difference. But I'm intentional about starting that early to make sure we separate the two.
That's pretty similar to me. You know, he's a week after Christmas, and I'm 2 weeks after Christmas,
So your mom always tried to make sure that your birthday felt like your birthday and not just like leftover Christmas, right?
Right. And now you get to this age and it all just kind of runs together.
Yeah. You got a milestone one coming up though. So.
All right, we're not going to talk about that.
It's going to be pretty special. All right, so let's see if we have a few more comments coming in here about people's progress. Amber said her family did Christmas on Thanksgiving, so she's already done. Robin has a lot of gifts hidden and she hopes they remember where they are.
My mom is also really good. My parents have always been really good about, you know, throughout the year, just always kind of keeping an open mind. If they see something, that would be good for, you know, be good for Christian or Shane, my brother, or, you know, they kind of buy throughout the year. And then my mom was joking. She's like, I know I bought you this, this, and this, but I have no idea where I put it.
So in July, when you open up the linen closet,
she finds it, she'll be like, oh, yeah, I can use this again this next year.
Exactly. It's the thought that counts, though.
That's right. Absolutely.
That's so funny. Yeah, whether you procrastinate or you are very active in doing this, that's not the reason for the season, right? It's just the thought that counts. It's the season of giving back to people you love, and obviously remembering the reason for the holiday, the birth of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for talking with us today. This is so fun. We are a week out till Christmas, and we will get some Christmas-like weather at some point next week.
I can tell you the chance of a white Christmas, though, is like less than 1%. All right, so
that's down from 6.
Womp, womp, womp. I'm sorry. But we will have more winter-like, more Christmas-like temperatures, if you will. 70 today and tomorrow, but after that, I don't see any warmth for quite some time. Now, tomorrow is kind of our weather change day. We'll have a cold front that slides by the Piedmont for your Saturday. Does bring us a few showers for Saturday evening and Saturday night. Now, anything that falls is going to be light, and it's not going to rain all the time everywhere. This will be just more of a scattered shower activity kind of thing. Some of those could linger into Sunday morning as the front crosses by, but after that, then it'll take us a little while, but we will clear things out for Sunday afternoon. And that chilly air does make a return as we end the weekend. Afternoon highs on Sunday in the low 50s. And then we will kick off the week of Christmas on a chilly note starting Monday morning in the 20s, only warming it up into the upper 40s by Monday afternoon. And Tuesday, by the way, is the first day of winter. It's actually when the winter solstice occurs. And it looks like temperatures will be pretty much right on the money for this time of the year. Average high right now is 52. That is the forecast for Tuesday. Of course, we've also been talking about the fact that we really do need some rain, and the chances for rain early in the week have done nothing but continued to trend drier and drier and drier. So do not hold out hope for very beneficial rainfall over the next 7 days. I think that chance is only about a 20% chance on Tuesday and Wednesday. So most of the Christmas week looks to remain dry.
So that chance for a scattered shower tomorrow, do you have a time frame for that?
Yeah, mainly after lunchtime. Okay. You know, not to say we couldn't get a sprinkle or an isolated light shower midday, mid-morning, but once you get after lunchtime, afternoon, dinner time, I think we'll see a little more in the way of scattered showers. But again, it's not going to be heavy. Anything that falls tomorrow is going to be light. So just kind of keep an umbrella and just maybe a rain jacket close by.
Well, that's good. I mentioned this on the Good Morning Show. We have wreaths across Greensboro tomorrow, where we lay wreaths on veterans' graves at Forest Lawn Cemetery. I'm introducing the amazing guest speaker who has a story you have to hear. So invite the family, bring your children, and come out. That's at 11 at Forest Lawn Cemetery in Greensboro.
That'd be awesome. I expect it to be mostly dry for that.
Awesome. Hey, thanks so much for spending part of your morning here with us here on After GMS. Right now, we like to take a look back at some of the funnier moments of the week, some of the bloopers, as we should call it. So do the honors. All
right, so this is the best of GMS. Have a great weekend. We'll see you bright and early Monday morning.
And we may see the better rain chance hold off until Monday.
So we're 10 days out from Christmas, and
I'm getting ready to leave.
Oh, you come back here. We have questions for you.
Why would I do that? Yeah.
Scott said he's heading to South Florida, so, doesn't matter what the weather is here.
Hey, Scott, pick me up. I'll pack my bag.
This is just the song that keeps on giving for all kinds of reasons.
Yeah, her album, when it was released in the 90s, I was like, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah, it's a great song, very catchy. If you listen to the words, very creative. It's just the over and over and over and over and over again.
Yes.
A bit of a warm-up.
The last movie, when Mysterio revealed Parker's true identity at the end, okay, so then they cast a spell with Doctor Strange, right? Then when the spell goes wrong, things get really interesting. I'm excited.
I've learned that you're a huge Spider-Man fan, like in the last 30 seconds.
No, I'm a huge Marvel fan.
Just the whole overall.
The whole thing, yes. And I really became interested in Spider-Man's character after the last Avengers movie and his relationship with Iron Man. Okay, this is going too deep, I know.
I'm just learning so
I'm all
much
caught
right
up now. I don't have to see the movies. Like a baby moon, so to say, a little break before this baby arrives. And I can count on one hand the times we've gone out by ourselves in 2 years. And so we need to do better about that. It was really awesome.
Well, let's hope that at some point we'll get to number 6 and we can pull out that extra digit.
6th date, not 6th.
Yes, specifics matter.